How was your weekend?
It was great. How was yours?
Good. I just went up the hill.
Hey, I went up and I fetched a pail of water.
Oh, great. All right. Well, welcome back to the Jack and Jill Show.
So what are we going to be talking about today, Jack?
Well, Jill, today we are going to be talking about Clavia Digital Music Instruments. So Clavia Digital Musical Instruments is a Swedish manufacturer of virtual analog synthesizers, virtual electromechanical pianos, stage pianos, and electronic music instruments and drums.
Clavia is a highly regarded name in the keyboard and synthesizer world.
Oh, okay. Clavia is a parent company. A lot of responsibility, Jill, am I right?
You are right, Jack.
And they have two branches.
So they have the Nord branch, manufactures analog keyboards and pianos and synthesizers.
Yes, and they have the D-Drum branch. It manufactures electronic and non-electronic drum kits. And in 2005, the company was sold to Armadillo, which expanded the brand from only electronic drums into a wider range of products.
Let's talk a bit about the company history, Jack.
Yes, let's.
So 35 years ago, in 1983, the company was founded by Hans Nordelius and Michael Carlson. They started working in their basement in Stockholm, Sweden. The first drum pad that they made allowed dynamic playing using sampling sounds for the commercial market, called the digital percussion plate.
Great, yeah. So although Clavia Digital Musical Instruments have a wide range of products, most users are actually familiar with the signature Nord piano synthesizer, as it's very popular. And some of our viewers had a lot of questions about the Nord piano specifically. So we decided, Jill and I, to reach out to Hiro Kanai, who's the assistant manager at Long McQuaid. So, some of the questions that you had: Nord keyboards are the premium instruments for professional performing musicians. They have an outstanding library of synth sounds. The only con really is that for classical pianists, because this is more of a modern synthesizer, they might not really like the feel of the piano as much as they would a classical piano.
Company's only producing expensive, highly professional models and doesn't really have an affordable budget for instruments for beginners and amateurs. The company is also not oriented to mass production, relying mostly on endorsement to spread word about their products using social media. And the company also involves many well-known musicians as featured artists worldwide to represent and promote the brand.
All right, so I guess we'll get into some of the other further questions now. So we got some direct answers by email, and here are the questions. So what kind of instruments are these, and how different are they from other leading brands, Jill?
So they are more specialized keyboards, really concentrating on a few areas of strength. This allows them to really work on features that a professional keyboardist are looking for, which is great sound and playability and a comparatively light keyboard.
Interesting.
Some other notable products are the Nord Lead 2, 3, and 2X. And in 2007, the Nord Wave was introduced. And in March 2012, Clavia released the Nord Drum, which is a virtual analog drum synthesizer.
Fantastic. So we'll be listing the full product line a little later on in the show. So the next question we had was, what does the company usually do to promote and market their products, especially seeing as earlier you said that they don't put a lot of money and time into advertisement?
Yes, so they focus mostly on trade shows and conventions, and these allow artists to be sponsored.
Is it professionals? Is it amateurs?
It's mostly professionals.
Okay.
So the next question is, what is the reputation of Nord among amateur musicians and professionals?
Well, everyone knows that Nord makes very professional instruments, so their reputation among professional players is of the highest standard. That being said, amateur musicians could still look into striving to achieve the performance level to be able to use the Nord, which is what makes them so majestic. Other brands such as the Roland, the Yamaha, Korg, that kind of thing, are all a lot better for amateur musicians as they're still working their way up in their skill on the piano.
So as we mentioned before, Nord has 4 different types of products. They have stage pianos, organs, synthesizers, and drums, and these all range from about $3,000 to $6,000, depending on the model. So now Jack is going to talk about one of the products, the Nord Piano 4.
Yes, I am. So I'm going to touch on one of the newest products, as she just mentioned, the Nord Piano 4 with virtual hammer action technology, and some of its primary features that it's now had added into the model. So the first one being expanded voice polyphony, the second premium triple sensor key bed. So to explain a little bit of this, because I feel like our users are interested in that, most pianos will have singular or double action sensor keyboards. The convenient thing about Nord is that you don't have to fully press down on the key or lift up to have the sound reinterpreted. You also can go very quickly between keys and get a great dynamic range. So the third feature being virtual hammer action technology. This really makes it feel like the authentic classic keyboard. or piano experience. The fourth being seamless transitions. So for seamless transitions, this just means that you can program sounds into different regions of the Nord and be able to have a seamless, slow change as you're going up the keyboard. So if you have piano at the bottom, you have organ in the middle, it's going to add a bit of the piano and the organ sound slowly through that area as you're heading up. And the beautiful thing about the Nord is there are different LED lights up the side of the piano, which allows for you to see visually where you're going to be transitioning, which is really nice. The fifth function being dedicated piano filters. So soft, mids, brights. This just means that as you're playing the piano, there's a button directly in front of you to be able to kind of make the sound a bit darker, a bit lighter, sometimes very bright, just basically adjusting the mids and highs of that piano. And the final feature that I'll add on for you today is the split point crossfades. There are many other exceptional features as well that you can find online on the Nord website.
It's great, Jack.
Thank you, Jill. So for our viewers at home, Jill, maybe you could go through the types of products Nord sells, just so that we have that background information.
Absolutely, Jack. So for stage pianos, we have the Nord Electro 6, the Nord Stage 3, the Nord Piano 3, and the Nord Electro 5. Synthesizers, we have the Nord Lead A1 and the Nord Lead 4. And for organs, we have the Nord C2D and the Nord Pedal Keys 2.7. And as we mentioned before, the drums, the Nord Drums 3P. So Jack, what's the general perception of these instruments?
Well, Jill, we have 3 fantastic reviews. Music Industry How To listed the Nord Electro as the #1 piano in the top 5 best keyboards for performing and recording 2018.
Wow.
Music Radar lists the Nord Piano as top 6 best keyboards for live performance.
Wow.
Yes, with CMU's listing it as the 24 best digital pianos 2018. It's placed on that list as well for its fantastic quality, Jill.
Wow.
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 That's right. So now we're going to talk a little bit about Nord's marketability. So naturally, everyone knows the Nord piano is very sexy.
That it is, Jack.
Yes, it definitely is. And I think that kind of stems from the fact that it's got its signature red color. You can't even Google a red piano and it won't come up as anything but the Nord piano. And that really helps the piano to stand out from other brands, I think. If you look up any other keyboards, they're all in black for the most part, whereas Nord has this flashy font as well, very, very nice font. And it just overall is very marketable. And that's definitely reflected through its online presence. So we're going to take a look at some of those numbers. As we know, they don't do a lot of advertisement. A lot of their advertisement is simply done through endorsements, word of mouth. So we'll take a look here. So for Instagram, Nord Keyboards has 437 posts, an update every 1 to 2 weeks, and that's the same for all of their channels. They have updates every 1 to 2 weeks specifically, which implies that the company is pretty active on Instagram, and they have 101,000 followers. Now, all of these stats are as of July 26th. On Twitter, they have 538 photos and videos, and they post as well every 1 to 2 weeks, 28,700 followers. Facebook, they have 86,054 likes, and you can imagine their following is quite close as well.
So we also have YouTube. The Nord Keyboard page has about 42,000 subscribers, and the total views on videos are more than 9 million.
Oh,
They also post about every 1 to 2 weeks. Because they don't normally use advertising, their following is likely very organic because of the quality of the product.
mm-hmm. Which leads you to only imagine the profit for them in that case.
Did you know, Jack, that Clavia has distributors in many countries worldwide? And they have 39 employees and a turnover of $25 million a year, US dollars, where 95% is export sales to local distributors.
I did not know that, John.
Yes.
And do they have lots of different countries that they export to?
They do, yes.
Oh, wow. I think you can find that all online, am I
You
correct?
definitely can find that online.
Oh, definitely. Well, folks, we'd like to take this time to thank our viewers.
Our viewers who view the show.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly right. And we'd also like to take this time to thank our contributors who've helped today to make this programming so darn special.
And to contribute.
Yes. And those people are Rodion Ivanov, featured, sponsored, endorsed artist of Nord.
And also Frank Coronati, product specialist, Korg Canada, Ericsson Music. And now, Jack, we're going to go to AK, who is at the Clavia booth at the Electronic Music Convention.
AK, can you hear us there?
Guys, I think I'm lost.
Well, that's it for the Jack and Jill show. I'm Jack.
And I'm Jill.
And we're Jack and Jill.